So, welcome students. Hopefully, all of you are keeping fine. Now, we are going through a tremendous crisis, perhaps all of you know. So, normal studies have also been suspended. Schools and colleges are closed. Under these circumstances, we have no other option but to make some lessons available to you mechanically. All of you know this. So, let's start with our run away kite. Let's straightway go to the text, our run away kite. Now, this is a wonderful text. This is a wonderful story, rather, I would specifically say, where we come to know about the importance of relationship in our life. You see, man lives in an organized society, and a family is a unit of a society. A society comprises of many families, and in the families we live together. Together means there are loved ones, all of us, your parents, grandparents, cousins, so many people are there together. Now, if there would be no relations, life would be really very boring and dull. Now we are going to read a story where we understand that little children, maybe of your age or a little younger than you, they are pining for some relationships. They are very eager to get some relations, but they do not have that. Lots of problems they have to face. They cannot play according to what they like, and they cannot mix up with other children. They cannot exchange their ideas with others. Under these circumstances, all of a sudden, quite dramatically, a broken family got reunited. And how it happened, you will be surprised to know that this all happened due to a runaway kite. Interesting, a runaway kite. কেটে যাওয়া ঘুড়ি, পালিয়ে যাওয়া ঘুড়ি, rather I would say. So now let us straightway come to the story of what finally happened. The story goes like this. Once it happened so that two children, brother and sister, the elder brother and younger sister, they used to live only with their father. Now, the name of the girl child was Philippa. She was 11 years old, and her elder brother Claude, he was 12 years old. Now, their father was a keeper of a lighthouse. Now, in those days, there used to be a very tall tower on the banks of rivers, seas, which were the normal ports of the ships and steamers to pass through. In order to give light signals to them so that they would be able to find out their main course of journey, their safe course of journey for their navigation, light signals used to be given from tall towers. Those things used to be known as lighthouse. Perhaps you can see the broken conditions of many lighthouses in various places, especially on the bank of our Ganga or in various on the banks of seas, various places. So it was such a lighthouse, and this lighthouse was situated on an island. The name of the island was Big Half Moon Island. Repeat, Big Half Moon Island. Now, you know, an island is actually a small landmass which is surrounded by water on all sides. So, Big Half Moon Island, and in that island, the two children and their father used to live, and the father was the keeper, means he was the person who used to provide the light signals to the passing ships. He was actually to man the lighthouse. Now, these two children, they were each other's companions. You can understand that they had a very good relationship. They never quarreled with each other. And this island was cut off from the mainland, and that's why they did not have any school also to attend. They used to enjoy their time playing and making fun together. They used to devise various kind of games like pirate caves, but they found that it was really very difficult to play such games like Pirate Caves, which need many people, only by two. And so, life was in that way, both full of sorrow and unhappiness, both full of happiness and unhappiness for these two children. And then what happened, in this island they used to pass only during the spring and summer months and autumn months, you can say. But when the winter came, they had to go back to the mainland, because during the winter months the entire harbor used to get frozen. And if the water would get frozen, obviously ships would not be able to pass, and therefore no need of giving any lighting signal. And that's why the children along with their father no longer stayed over there in that island during the winter months, and they used to go back to their mainland where they used to pass the winter months. Now after the winter months went away, then they used to go back to their dear island. That was the situation. But the funniest part of the thing was that these two children, in the original story it is written that they used to attend school during those months in the mainland, but when they were in their own island they never attended schools. And therefore they used to mix up with other children, and they used to quarrel also a lot with the local children. And in this way they used to pass their time. The funniest part was that when the children used to go back to their dear island, to the Big Half Moon Island, then the local children used to tease them. They used to taunt them because they did not have any relations. What kind of people are you that you don't have any relations? These used to hurt Claude and Philippa. And one day they asked their father, "Well, Papa, everybody else has got relation, why don't we have?" But the moment they asked this question, their father, it seemed that their father all of a sudden became very, very sad. And the children were also very shocked. They realized that since their question embarrassed their father so much, it made him so unhappy, so better they should not have asked that question. So since then, they never dared to ask this question. During one year during the winter months, the children in the mainland, the Claude and Philippa, they also used to mix up with them. So from one of the boys, Claude learned how to make kites. Making kite at home with paper, then bamboo sticks and gum, all kind of things, is not a very difficult task. Many children know how to make kites. Perhaps many of you also know that. So it happened that Claude learned how to make a kite from one of the mainland boys. Now once they got back to their island, the Big Half Moon Island, they made plenty of kites, a lot of kites. In fact, they turned crazy to fly kites. And Claude and Philippa, they used to part from each other and go to the other parts of the, they used to stand apart, and they used to give signals to each other as if they were shipwrecked mariners with the help of that kite. Those kites are. And in this way things were going on. And these children, they were particularly fond of a big kite they had made. They had made a big kite with red paper, and they had also pasted tinsel stars on it. Tinsel stars means, a kind of decorative stars made of very thin velvety paper. Sometimes that we need to decorate our house during the birthday parties or something like this. So tinsel stars. And they were very proud of their kite, and that's why they also wrote their name and address on the kite itself, like Claude Litty and Philippa Litty, Lighthouse, Big Half Moon Island. That is what they did. And then one day the wind was really very glorious, ideal for kite flying. And so the two children thought that the kite they had prepared with so much of fondness, they would fly that kite. And so Claude asked Philippa, his sister, to bring the kite from inside the house. It was inside the house. But God knows how it happened. When Philippa was returning with the kite, suddenly she tripped and fell on the rocks. And one of her elbows went right through the middle of the kite, making a huge hole. So you can understand that the kite was no longer fit for flying. They must have to repair it, they must have to fix it, because the wind was glorious, and that is why the children wanted to repair at it as quickly as possible. But they knew very well that there was no more red paper. Red paper would be the most appropriate thing to repair the damaged red kite, but there was no red paper left. So what they did, they went inside, and the thing that came handy, they used that one to fix the damaged kite. And lo, this was an old letter which was kept on the top of the bookcase. Actually, father had cleaned his drawer, and from that drawer one of the old letters had been taken out, and it was kept on the top of the bookcase. And it came handy, so the children got it without knowing anything about the significance of the letter. They pasted one length of that letter on one side of the kite, and they pasted it and they dried it by the fire, and the kite now got ready, and now they began to fly. And what a great event it was, because I told you the wind was glorious, the kite was made a grand one, and that's why it began to soar up like a bird, higher and higher and higher and higher. But suddenly it happened so that, snap, the kite got cut off, and it sailed away, miles away to the mainland. And Claude, who was flying the kite, he stood with a bit of cord in his hand, looking very foolish, as if he was someone who deserved pity from others. And the kite sailed away. The children were very sorry, but nothing could be done. So they returned home in a very dejected manner. Now let us find out what actually happened to that kite. When the kite got cut off, it sailed away, miles away in the mainland, and it got stuck up at the topmost branch of a tree. Now two children might be of their age. Their names were Dick and Mimi. They were rambling in that part of the forest. Rambling means wandering aimlessly, having nothing specific assignment to carry out, or any destination to reach. Now when they saw that the kite had stuck up at the topmost branch of the tree, they brought it out and they collected it, rescued it from there, and brought it to their home. Now when their mother, she saw the kite, obviously you can understand that she also noticed the names written on it. Now she could realize that this was a special kite, and it had come from some special people of her life, because the names of the children written on the kite were Philippa Litty and Claude Litty. And this lady, Aunt Esther, her father's and mother's name were in the same names. Her father's name was Claude and her mother's name was Philippa. And in England, there is a very common fascination of naming the grandchildren after the names of their grandparents. And so she could immediately understand that this kite had come from her own nephew and niece. That means she now could get the idea where her brother and his children might be living. So she wrote a letter. Now the letter reached Big Half Moon, and it fell in the hands of father. When father wrote the letter, his eyes moistened, and then he called the children, Philippa and Claude, and asked them, "Well, children, do you know what happened to your kite?" And so saying, he told the whole story, narrated the whole story. He said that, "Well, you see, that day you were asking me about my relations, now let me tell you what the relations were." Now, the father said that he had a brother and a sister, but during his young age, he had a bitter quarrel with his brother. He had a quarrel with his brother. and so he left home. Years later, when he realized his mistake, he wanted to rectify his manners, and he went back to his home only to find that his brother was dead and his sister was married away, she was gone. So, father could not find out his brother as well as his sister, and no one could give him any hint about where the sister might be living. And now this runaway kite was rescued by the children of Aunt Esther, who were the cousins of Philippa and Claude, and that is why the letter was written. So father went to bring Aunt Esther, and you know Aunt Esther and her children, Dick and Mimi, they used to live in a very poor way. They were very poor people, and so father brought Aunt Esther and her two children, Dick and Mimi. Now you can understand that Philippa and Claude got two more cousins and an aunt. So you know the broken family finally got rejoined, finally got reunited again. The whole broken family finally reunited, and that is why the story ends with the comment made by Philippa. The whole story is actually being narrated by Philippa in the first person, and Philippa says that, well, after all, we have got relations. Dick and Mimi are too jolly for words. That means they are such jolly children that you cannot explain their jollity in words. And Aunt Esther is a really very dear one. Now Aunt Esther came to take care of the entire family, and now they have got relations. So you can understand, earlier the children were only 3 members, now they have become 6. For whom? Only for the runaway kite, isn't it? What a wonderful story it is that only a runaway kite, everybody thinks that it is a lost case, there is no scope of getting back. Not only that the children got back, might be they had got back their kite as well, and these runaway kite reunited the broken family. So who knows what is lying ahead for all of us. If separation is a way of life, so is reunion. So union and separation, these are the two sides of the same coin of human life, and relations are very important, children. So the central message of this story is that we have to value relations in our life. Okay, it may not always happen that everybody will behave the way you expect from them, but still we must know how to make adjustments, and adjustments come only out of the spirit of sacrifice. We must learn how to curtail to some extent our personal fascinations in order to appreciate the problems of others and try to solve them out. That is a very happy family where everybody is eager to solve the problems of others. It is a normal situation that it is quite normal, it is quite common that everybody is bothered about his own problem. I am always eager to solve my own problems. But when we can extend ourselves from our own personal periphery to each and everyone in the family, obviously the family will be a happy one, a far happier one other. That is what this story teaches us. That's a very good story. Okay, got it? Hopefully you will read it between the lines yourselves. There will be no problem. Still, let me read it out to you. Don't forget to read this blue part as well, because questions can be set from there as well. Our Runaway Kite by Lucy Maud Montgomery. Lucy Maud Montgomery, 1874 to 1942, was a Canadian author best known for a series of novels beginning with Anne of Green Gables. She wrote numerous novels, poems and short stories. She was made an officer of the Order of the British Empire in 1935. This short story is about a brother and a sister living on an isolated island with their father, who, through a series of incidents, get reunited with their long lost relatives. It is a touching tale that underlines the value of relationships. Repeat. That underlines the value of relationships, what I was telling you. Of course, there was nobody for us to play with on the big half moon. We just had to make the most of each other, and we did. We live on the big half moon island. We, our father and Claude and I, and Aunt Esther and me, Mimi and Dick. It used to be only father and Claude and I. It is all on account of the kite that there are more of us. That is what I want to tell you about. Father is the keeper of the Big Half Moon Lighthouse. I am 11 years old. Claude is 12. In winter, when the harbor is frozen over, we all move over to the mainland. As soon as spring comes, back we sail to our own dear island. The funny part used to be that people always pitied us when the time came for us to return. They said, we must be so lonesome over there with no other children near us. Of course, Claude and I would have liked to have someone to play with us. It is hard to run pirate caves and things like that with only two. But we used to quarrel a good deal with the mainland children in winter. So it was perhaps just as well that there were none of them on the Big Half Moon. Claude and I never quarreled. To be sure, Father didn't seem to have any relations except us. This used to puzzle Claude and me. Everybody on the mainland had relations. Why hadn't we? Was it because we lived on an island? We thought it would be so jolly to have an uncle and aunt and some cousins. Once we asked Father about it, but he looked so sorrowful that we wished we hadn't. He said it was all his fault. Claude and I didn't understand what he meant. Go to Unit 2. It is always lovely on the Big Half Moon in summer. When it is fine, the harbor is blue and calm with little wind and ripples. Every summer we had some hobby. The last summer, before Dick and Mimi came, we were crazy about kites. A boy on the mainland showed Claude how to make them. Back on the island, we made plenty of kites. Claude would go around to the other side of the island and we would play shipwrecked mariners signaling to each other with kites. We had a kite that was big and covered with lovely red paper. We pasted gold tinsel stars all over it and had written our names full on it. Claude Litty and Philippa Litty, Big Half Moon Lighthouse. One day there was a grand wind for kite flying. I am not sure how it happened, but but as I was bringing the kite from the house, I tripped and fell over the rocks. My elbow went clear through the kite, making a big hole. We had to hurry to fix the kite if we wanted to send it up before the wind fell. We rushed into the lighthouse to get some paper. We knew there was no more red paper. We took the first thing that came handy, an old letter lying on the bookcase in the sitting room. We patched the kite up with the letter a sheet on each side and dried it by the fire. We started out, and up went the kite like a bird. The wind was glorious and it soared. All at once, snap, and there was Claude, standing with a bit of cord in his hand, looking foolish. Our kite had sailed away over to the mainland. Unit 3. A month later, a letter came for Father. After he finished reading it, his eyes looked as if he had been crying. Do you want to know what became of your kite? He said. Then he sat down beside us and told us the whole story. Father had a brother and a sister. He had quarreled with his brother and left home. Years afterward, he felt sorry, and when he went back, he found his brother had died and he could not find his sister. The letter Father had just received was from his sister, Aunt Esther, mother of Dick and Mimi. She was a widow who lived hundreds of miles inland. One day, when Dick and Mimi were out in the woods, they discovered the kite on the top of a tree and carried it home. When their mother saw the kite patched with the letter, she turned pale. It was the very letter she had once written to her brother. Philippa was her mother's name and Claude was her father's. She knew who we must be. So she sat down and wrote to Big Half Moon, and father received the letter. Next day, father went and brought Aunt Esther and Dick and Mimi with him. They have been here ever since. Aunt Esther is a dear and Dick and Mimi are too jolly for words. But the best of it all is that we have relations now. Okay. Hopefully you have understood the text. I don't think there is any need to go by line by line and explain it once again. Let's take down the questions. Answer the following questions in about 25 words each. 2 more questions. Give a short introduction of the writer of the text, Our Runaway Kite. Give a short introduction of the writer of the text, Our Runaway Kite. Then number 2. What kind of text is Our Runaway Kite? What kind of text is Our Runaway Kite? Then describe briefly the life the children lived in the Big Half Moon Island. Briefly describe the life the children lived in the Big Half Moon Island. What happened that the children had to shift to the mainland, and when did they do so? What happened that the children used to shift to the mainland, and when did they do so? Now, in what way did the mainland people pity Philippa and Claude? In what way did the mainland people pity Philippa and Claude? Why did the two children often seek for some cousins? Why did the children often seek for some cousins? Can you guess? Why did not Philippa and Claude quarrel with each other? Can you guess why Philippa and Claude did not quarrel with each other? What used to puzzle the two children most? What used to puzzle P-U-Z-Z-L-E the two children most? Why did the children regret to have asked their father a question? Why did the children regret to have asked their father a question about their relations? When and in what way does the Big Half Moon Island look fine? When and in what way does the Big Half Moon Island look fine? Then, under what circumstances did the children become crazy about kites? Under what circumstances did the children become crazy about kites? How did the children enjoy playing with kite flying? How did the children enjoy playing with kite flying? Then describe the big kite that the children had made. Describe the big kite that the children had made. How did the big kite get partly damaged? How did the big kite get partly damaged? In what way did the children repair the damaged kite? In what way did the children repair the damaged kite? What finally happened? What finally happened to the kite when the children started flying it? What finally happened to the kite when the children started flying it? Who rescued the runaway kite? Who rescued the runaway kite, and from where? And from where? What did father tell the children? What did father tell the children about the breaking of their family? About the breaking of their family. What did father notice when he returned home after many years? What did father notice when he returned home after many years? Full of repentance. Full of repentance. How did Aunt Esther react? How did Aunt Esther react when she got the big kite rescued by her children? How did Aunt Esther react when she got the big kite rescued by her children? In what way does the narrator describe the nature of the new members of her family? In what way does the narrator describe the nature of the new members of her family? What is the central message of the story Our Runaway Kite? What is the central message of our story Our Runaway Kite? Okay. Hopefully, if we do these ones, that we will do. Okay. Now the exercises you will do yourselves. The exercises that are given at the end of the test, you will please do yourself. Okay. Then we will do the grammar portion. Now go to question number 10. Change the following sentences into questions as directed. Shankho lives in Alipurduar. Shankho lives in Alipurduar. Information question using have. And actually this should be where. Where does Shankho live? Make the question. You have to frame a question so that the given sentence can be its answer. So the sentence is given: Shankho lives in Alipurduar. If we have to raise a question with where, WH question word, it will be Where does Sanko live? Question mark. The next one, they have gone to a picnic. This one is interrogative question. This one have. Where? Where have they gone? Where have they gone? Question mark. Now I went to school yesterday. Simple question using did. I went to school yesterday. Did you go to school yesterday? Did you go to school yesterday? Question mark. Then Tia studies in class 10. Tia studies in class 10. Information question using which? Which class does Tia study in? Which class does Tia study in? Question mark. So that is what is all about our runaway kite. We will write the compositions later. Okay. Thank you. In the next lesson, I will give you sea fever and cat. Okay. Oh no, sea fever and snail. Sea fever and snail. Then cat one lesson. I think in 2 more lessons we will be able to cover the book. But you must write the answers to these questions. And if there be any problem, consult the book and you can make me a call. Then only I can help you. Okay. Thank you.